Hello and welcome to BeamNG.drive. Today I'm taking a look at the Arima Hestia. The Hestia is a minivan, as you can see, and this is how it looks from the outside. The side profile, pretty standard for a minivan. The front, pretty good, I like it. It has pretty big headlights, but seems reasonable. And on the rear, I really like the lights displacement, so that's thumbs up for me. And then on the inside we have a pretty standard infotainment and dash from the early 2000s. And also the quality of the interior is pretty good. You have also a lot of seats for all the kids you have, because if you buy a minivan you have a lot of kids. And a detail worth noting of this vehicle is that all the configurations are right hand drive, so if you are a fan of first person view, take that into consideration. Okay, I don't know what these AIs are doing, but let's go and do a little test drive. Bye bye. Now, this is the stock configuration. It has a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine powered by gasoline. It is quite powerful for such vehicle. It is also front-wheel drive, this configuration, because you can have also diesel power and 4-wheel drive. So you can have quite a few configurations. Now, the closest comparison you can do is with the Lansdale, the base game minivan, and this configuration is way better than the Lansdale because the engine is happier. The Lansdale is quite lazy. Also, the Hestia diesel is the closest comparison to the Lansdale, quite lazy engines, so they are not the fastest vehicle around. This is way better to drive. Also worth noting that this configuration, I was scared of rear-ending that Pessima. This configuration is front-wheel drive, as I said, and if you brake an half shaft, it's done. It's an advantage of the all-wheel drive configuration that if you break one of the half shaft, you can still drive, so you have to take that into consideration. Also, this vehicle is pretty tough. You can have unlucky hits that snap powertrain and you are just done, but it can take quite a beating. I'm pretty happy about this detail of the vehicle also. Oops, that was my fault, sorry. And the handling is pretty good as well. The top speed isn't the highest because of course it's a minivan, you don't need to go 180 km per hour, but you can easily reach 120. It's more than enough for this kind of vehicle and the environment it's used in. And it has just some understeering. Ouch! Okay, now I've broken the vehicle. Let's take a look at the damage. Not that much because that was a pretty slow impact. But these vehicles, both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, suffer from some Van Driver is mad. Of course it's my fault, but understandable. All the configurations just have some sort of understeering. And what is that door doing? Never noticed that. But the crash model, just like the polished vehicle, is pretty good. Sometimes though you have some triangles like I do right now here on the fender, and it happens that sometimes, so this is the best case scenario, I have both the triangle and the jiggling from the vehicle. So I don't know what this car is doing. As you can see, it's not stop. It is wobbling around on itself. So if I turn it off, it doesn't change. So it's just the mod that has this small issue. Now I'm driving the 2.2-liter i4 engine diesel configuration, and you will probably notice that even with a turbo and a bigger engine, the diesel is slower. It isn't as reactive as the gasoline powered configuration. So if I had to choose what is that doing, I don't know. If I had to choose, I would choose the gasoline engine 100% of the times over the diesel. Also, you can swap the engines, so you don't need the diesel. It's a nice addition. You can have both the configuration, which is cool, but the diesel, it's not worth it. So, let's crash it. Why not? Let's pick up some speed and let's do a head-on collision a bit faster. Okay, and as I told you, it's a pretty tough vehicle, because head-on collision, 75 kilometers per hour me, and the other probably at least 40. The trunk is broken, weird. The front is completely smashed, but I can still drive because the half shafts are still in one piece. So that's pretty good. And also seems like I don't even have steering damage, so that was perfect impact. I couldn't have done it better if I tried. And so let's smash it on something else a bit harder. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Oh. That was anticlimactic. I completely destroyed the half shaft and yeah, the vehicle is done. This vehicle comes with 16 configurations. 8 of them are just regular minivans, with smaller detail changes between them, like for example the diesel engine and the gasoline engine, the lug rack, the wheels, minor interior damage, minor interior details. Then we have 8 crazier, let's say, versions. We have some tuned racing vehicles, some stance configurations, an unmarked police, a Vladivostok tuner spec, which is a crazy Russian dude that made this vehicle, and a 6-6 Journey Olympiad all-wheel drive that's a little bit better vehicle than the first 8, but just maybe the trim and a little bit more power, not that much. And now I'm trying the Stanced. The Stanced, it's somewhat a letdown because it doesn't have power. Yeah, the style looks fine, but the power is just a tiny more compared to the standard configurations. So that's, yeah, I was expecting it to be faster. The handling is pretty decent for this kind of suspension configuration. If you tried the other stance, that one that bounces a lot more, so I'm pretty happy with how this vehicle handles the potholes and the bumps on the roads. Also, the brakes are pretty decent. A detail worth noting of this vehicle is that the brakes overheat pretty easily, so you have to be careful while braking. You can't go all in all the time, otherwise it will boil the brakes and you better brake a lot earlier. So be careful on the brakes, otherwise it's easy to overheat them. But as you can see, for a Stanced, I'm not having particular issues driving around in the city. So now let's crash it. I would like to have a crash on the side or on the rear. Let's see if I can find a wall to handbrake turn. Okay, I can find it, and that wasn't ideal. But I can't do one more time because, yes, the exhaust is broken. Okay, let me remove the front bumper because I'm going to eat it. Please. Please. Okay, thank you. If you're able to do crashes head-on or on obstacles like posts and trees, and you hit dead-on in the center, there is a high chance that the drive shaft won't break, or any of the half shaft, so you can keep driving. Not good because I have a lot of steering damage, but I can still drive. Another head-on collision, and this time the engine is completely broken, so that's not ideal. But the damage model still looks pretty good. It's a kind of a safe vehicle. It has some denting on the roof, but That's understandable. I did 2 head-on collisions. As you can see, not the participants, the passengers, looks pretty safe. An interesting detail about this mod is that some configurations do have the reverse beep noise. You usually hear it on the inside if you have sensors, but for example on the Olympiad configuration you can hear it from the outside, and I let you hear that. As you can see, I'm going reverse and there is a beeping noise. It's an unusual feature. It usually is on big trucks and not on minivans, so that was that was a kind of a surprise. So far I haven't been able to damage all the sides of the vehicle. Hopefully a round of the descent will do the job. Before crashing, I want to take a look at the Onkyozoku configuration that has unique rims, a pretty stylish paint job with a fade and white flames, and it is also the only configuration that features a lot of subwoofers in the trunk. So that's a pretty interesting detail. You can't see it from the outside because it has black windows, tinted glass. So I discovered it by crashing the vehicle when the trunk opened. Now, let's go and destroy it once more. Okay, the exhaust is already destroyed. And now, instead of a lazy roll, I want to do a big jump. And let's see the gravity, what does to my vehicle. So far, so good. Oof, that was a big impact on the back, what I wanted. So I can see some real damage on the rear. Okay, now all the sides are destroyed. Pretty good, that's what I wanted, and I'm stuck on a cube. So let's take a look at the damage, which is pretty intense. Stop the wheels. And as you can see again, the wobbliness is around. I'm not touching anything, and the vehicle is moving by itself. So far, I can say that the crash was pretty heavy, yes, but the 3D model is good, but could use some refining. As you can see, especially on the rear, there are some triangles right here, for example. I saw them with this door here. Let's say on a scale of from 1 to 10, the 3D model after the crashes is about 8. It's good, but it could be better. Anyway, I think this mod is recommended. It's pretty good vehicle, decent handling, pretty good looking for a minivan. And the crash model as well, it has some issues, but it's pretty solid. So, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.